What's up, YouTube? Demi here with a failed build. Keep that in mind. This build is not what I would consider to be endgame viable. We threw this together today on stream. It's a FACEBREAKER'S Consecrated Pathfinder. And, I mean, it works. Like, it can do red maps. It just doesn't feel good, if that makes sense. Like, super quick overview of the tree and whatnot. The thought was full or near 100% LE conversion, stack LE pen, crit shatter things. I missed having a shatter build. I thought this would be like a fast clearing build. But because it's FACEBREAKER'S, my attack speed is dog shit. Like, it's really bad. And because I'm wearing an abyssus, my blood rage kills me so fast. You should, like, earlier on stream, I'll see if I can find the clip. There's a clip of me, like, I ran a map with Vuln on it, and, like, I got Corrupting Blood stacked and died like within 0.2 seconds. I didn't even have time to react, I just died. It was really bad. Turns out if you're taking like 40% increased fizz and then like an extra 1,000,000,000% fizz, why am I lagging? From the Vuln mod, you just die really fast. It was not fun. But as you can see, I mean, it clears fine. It's got decent damage, it's just like, I don't know. It feels slower than my non-crit Chieftain version, and way less tanky. I mean, I have 5k life, barely. My Chieftain's got like 6k life with better attack speed, and it's just safer. Damage feels pretty much the same. Maybe a little bit better on this. So, I don't know. And I'm wearing a lot more expensive gear. Like, I had to get good steel rings, get a whatever the claw talisman's called. So I could go crit with FACEBREAKER'S. Like, it just, I don't know. It didn't work out the way I wanted to, but it works for mapping. I mean, I could see it being pretty okay. I think the next step is just level a different character, basically, because I don't like this one. I just didn't want to level. I hate leveling. That's like my main gripe with making a new build, is I have to level a new character in the league. In Standard, I can just respec a build, but here I'm like, oh, I gotta actually go run Acts 1 through 10 again and then power level myself, you know? It's just annoying. I think for this, it's better if I just went with an axe and a stat stick or something, or a sword stat stick if I wanted to go crit. It just doesn't make sense to go FACEBREAKER'S right now. You lose your glove slot, you lose your shield slot, you don't have a main hand, so you lose all those gem links. Like, it just, I don't know, the attack speed feels really bad too. And I can't get insanity gloves to make my shield charge feel good. I have a lot of complaints, basically. But, that being said, obviously the build works. Crit FACEBREAKER'S has always been a thing since this talisman came out back in Talisman League, which I believe was 2.1? Maybe 2.2 or 2.0. I don't know. I don't remember how long ago that was. It was like one of the first leagues I played. 3 years ago, maybe. So it's possible to do. It's just like not super good. I'll see how bad this is on boss fights. Ow. The degen, man, it hurts. I'm pretty sure that's a fizz degen too, so I'm gonna get murdered by it. I was going, like, the plan was initially to go with a lightning coil in addition to the Taste of Hate, so I could get like 50% fizz taken as LE to mitigate the what am I trying to say? The increased fizz damage taken from the abyssus. Oh shit. But that being said, ow. Because of the way that the gear slots work, like I need to have lycosidae, I need to have abyssus, I need to have FACEBREAKER'S, I need to have a rigwald's curse. I only have like 4 slots to cap my resistances on, and that gets to be incredibly, incredibly expensive. So I didn't want to spend a bajillion X to get like really good resist rings, and I still spent a lot on these. These are like a couple X each, and they're still like not enough to cap my res, even with this ridiculous amount of resistances on a pair of boots and a pretty good belt. Like, not even close. I was missing like 80 plus res. So I got another. I used the chest piece from my previous Chieftain build to cap my res. If I used a lightning coil, it would give me negative 60% res here. Like, I'm almost capped without the chest, but negative 60 lightning res, I can't cap that. So we just had to give up on it. But yeah, it works. I mean, it's an okay build. I just don't think it's going to be something that I want to keep playing, or something that I think will work for endgame content. It's just like a decent mapping build, and for this level of investment, it's just not worth it. But if you're curious about how it works, we went Pathfinder for the flash stuff, reduced LE damage taken, immunity to ailments, LE damage, chance free shock ignite. We got LE pen, damage pen. Sorry, LE is extra. What am I trying to say? Physical damage is extra elemental damage. 10% pen. Increased flash charges, and we get some attack speed, movement speed here. Skill tree is lots of life. 40% cold conversion here, and then we have 50% from Consecrated Path itself. So we're at 90% conversion, which is, I mean, close to full, right? Get some more life, some Volpact action, life jewels. So these work because we're holding a shield. Physical attack damage works. Doesn't say with a weapon, so it's all generic. Unarmed range is great. Attack speed. This actually doesn't work for us much. You don't get the pen because you're not holding a weapon. You get the elemental damage. You don't get the pen. Life here, frenzy charge, quicker multi, phase acro for some dodge. More. Again, you don't get the pen here, so this is kind of a waste. Life nodes. And because we're using a Rigwald's Curse, it says you get unarmed crit, and then modifiers to claw damage, claw attack speed, and claw critical strike chance also apply to unarmed crit strike stuff, right? That sounds good, but when I first started this, I was going to do poison build with unarmed, but we learned very quickly that because of the way this is worded, it says damage with ailments from attack skills while wielding a claw. That is not converted with this. So you don't get any of the ailment damage from the weapon nodes, which is really stupid in my opinion. Like, none of those ailment stuff is giving us any scaling. Like, I built a... What skill were we using at first? I don't even remember, but we had like 300 poison dot. With all of the... With like this poison node cluster, we had this poison cluster, we had this poison cluster, and all the claw poison, and it was like 200, 300 dot. We're just missing a bunch of poison stuff because it just doesn't give you the ailment damage. But yeah, after that, you go for all the claw stuff. This is where you get your attack and life leech, mana leech, you know. Bunch of crit multi, damage with claws, attack speed, frenzy charges for more damage, more frenzy, or more attack speed. Phase damage, crit. We needed the resistances, so we went for this instead of this. This is probably better, but we didn't have resist, so again, went for that. Attack damage, crit multi, damage, life nodes, attack speed, life nodes, claw nodes. It's a pretty, like, generic. Honestly, if I just switched the build, if I took this off, put on a pair of regular gloves, put on a claw and a stat stick, and then just went dual wield instead of shield, it would be a fine build, right? You could just go with, like, a claw reeve character, blade flurry, something like that, and the tree is perfectly fine. But as FACEBREAKER'S, it's just not very good, and I don't like it. Gear stat priorities and whatnot. Pantheons cannot be stunned, and phys damage reduction for hits taken recently. Bandits, we went for kill all because I didn't want to pay the regrets to redo my bandits. Gear-wise, FACEBREAKER'S, you want the highest, more physical damage with unarmed attacks you can get. It goes up to 800. I'm pretty close to perfect there. Belt, you're going to need life resist strength with some wed if possible. Boots, as much resist as life as you can get. You don't really need movement speed unless you want your shield charge to be really fast, but this is without any movement speed on boots, so it feels pretty okay. Shield, lycosidae. Hits can't be evaded, means you have a 100% chance to hit. I don't need to worry about accuracy on any of my gear, which is nice. You just have 100% chance accuracy. Normally with accuracy, you get capped at 95% chance, and if you're a crit build, it checks your accuracy twice to see if you hit and to see if you crit. So it's kind of important to have really, really high accuracy on a crit build, and this solves all of those issues. And because we're wearing FACEBREAKER'S, we can't exactly go stat stick anyway. You can't have a stat stick in this hand and nothing in this hand because you'd still be considered to be wielding a weapon. So have to have nothing here in a shield or nothing, which is like whatever. Amulet, again, the enabler to go claw crit with unarmed. Rigwald's Curse is like 30C, whatever. This is like 50C. I paid like 30C for this. Abyssus, you want as much melee crit as possible and reduced, or a low increased fizz as possible. FACEBREAKER'S gives you a fuckload of unarmed damage, right? Flat fizz to attacks, 40 to 60 multiplied by 790% is kind of huge. Like if I take this off, I lose, I guess almost all of my damage because I lose the attributes. I'm not really sure how to check that correctly. It's a lot, whatever. Rings, again, steel rings, flat fizz is important for FACEBREAKER'S, so we went with steel rings with flat fizz, life resist stats, flat fizz, life resist stats. Chest piece, life resist. If you can get the resistance to use a lightning coil to mitigate this piece of shit, good. Otherwise, not gonna work. As for gem links, we are using Consecrated Path, and let's see if I can do it in order. Consecrated Path, melee fizz. I believe after that it was elemental damage with attacks, then added fire, then ruthless, and then increased AoE/conk effect for bossing. We got a Warchief totem down here, Vol Warchief with melee fizz, fizz to lightning, Instead of the 50% converted from Consecrated Path, it's got 50% here, so it's still 90% converted. And then Conk Effect, just for a lot of deeps. Shield Charge, Faster Attacks Fortify, Standard Movement Skill Setup. You could use... What else can you use? Nothing else. You can't use Leap Slam without unarmed. You have to have a weapon. Can't use Rolling Blades because, again, no weapon. You could use Flame Dash or Shield Charge, basically. Then we got a Herald setup, Herald of Ash, Herald of Purity. Herald of Purity gives you more damage to attacks. Flat Fizz, basically, which is good for us. Herald of Ash gives you physical damage as extra fire. Great. Then we have a low-level Cast Damage Taken Immortal Call setup just for that Fizz immunity spike. And then auras, other auras, we have a Herald of Ice linked to Curse on Hit Assassin's Mark. When you shatter things, the explosion curses enemies with Assassin's Mark for power charges. Gives them increased chance to take crits, damage from crits, power charges when slain, and life and mana. And then we got a random Blood Rage, so we can go fast. We get those Frenzy gens, but the Blood Rage degen, like, it's kind of insane. We have Vol Pact, and we take increased physical damage, so that physical degen just kind of shits all over us, as you can see. Can I die to this? I don't know. No, that's just one Blood Rage with no duration links. 10 seconds of 4% degen puts me at 40% life. That makes sense, actually. No, it doesn't. It should be 60% life, but I have 40% increased physical damage taken, so that makes sense. As for Jewels, ideally you're going to want flat physical to attacks on Jewels, which you can get on Murderous. Has to be just generic. Do I have one? Yeah, if you can get this mod, physical damage to attacks with life and multi on it, really good for Facebreakers. But I wanted Onslaught and I wanted Unholy Might, so I only had one Abyssal Socket. I just threw this in. Gives me both of those and some life. As for rare jewels, we go for life, melee damage, area damage, damage while holding a shield, attack speed while holding a shield, attack speed, melee crit multi, global crit multi with Ellie, crit multi with fire. What else can you get? Attack and cast speed. There's a lot of stuff. This was like 20C, 10C or something like that. This one is attack speed, life area. This was like 12C, same shit. I think I only have the 2 jewels. But yeah, it's an okay build. I would not recommend it for endgame farming or for if you're on a budget. It's just like an expensive build that doesn't work well with what you invested into it. Like my Chieftain was wearing probably a quarter of what this cost. I think this was like 50C. These were like 3 or 4x each. The belt was like 20, 30C. Boots were pretty expensive. I think like 70C. And I bought a Taste of Hate. Like this was 1.5x. Like it's a lot of investment and it doesn't perform, is what I'm trying to say. So I wouldn't make this myself again. I've never played Facebreakers before, so I just wanted to try it. Won't happen again. So this is what a failed Demi build looks like, I guess. I don't usually post these type of videos, so I'll include the paste bin in the description below the video. If you do want to make it, if you can make it better than what I have here, by all means, let me know in the comments. If you want to support me in what I do, my Twitch stream, my Patreon, my merch store, discount code LEMON, all caps, by the way, just the word LEMON. Get 10% off. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. That'll be Demi out.